Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Chats with Charnie. It's the week before Christmas, so everyone is busy. It's a time for family, it's a time for fun, it's festive, or it's the holidays if you're in America and it's quite cold, or anywhere else in the Northern Hemisphere. It's cold, you want to kind of warm up to a fireplace, you want your blankets around you. And also, another thing that you desperately do want around you is family and really close friends. So, if you are in a situation where you're living abroad and you don't have family or close friends near you, or if you are the family member that's in the home country and you have a brother, sister, daughter, niece or nephew sitting in a foreign country, then you're going to want to watch this video. I have a few tips and tricks, but also a bit of stories in terms of what this time can really be in terms of loneliness for the few of us that don't get to see our family during this time of year. So stay tuned. So, we're going to start this off with a very quick story of my own experience of loneliness during the Christmas period. So, this was in 2018. I was transitioning from Ireland to the United States, and I was only going to move to the United States, I think, on the 3rd of January. That was when my flight was due. So, I obviously could not go home to South Africa, and I was alone in Ireland. Many of my friends had gone home. They had traveled to other countries. My parents had come the month before, and I obviously couldn't bring my parents with again over for Christmas. So I was alone, and it was a very, I want to say, daunting time. At the time, I didn't know what I was going to do on Christmas Day. I actually had no money, and we'll we'll get to that in another video. I had no money, so I couldn't really afford to buy myself anything. I was sitting alone in my friend's apartment. She had gone to Finland to her family, so I was alone, and it was also my first Christmas without my family. And my mother was emotional, my family was emotional, so I couldn't add my emotions onto them. I kind of just had to suck it up. But God sent me my friend Salman, whose video is also on Chats with Shani in terms of how he became a CASA. So I'll link that and then you guys can check that out. But he offered his apartment that he had not even moved into yet, him and his wife and his little boy. They offered for me to stay there on Christmas Eve, and then they would celebrate Christmas with me. And that was so, so, so special. It really meant a lot to me not to be alone on Christmas Day, and they literally cooked. They did everything, and it meant the world to me. I think without that, I would have been so sad, so depressed, so lonely. And, even thinking now, I've been in the United States for about a year. I have no family over here. My friends that were here when I was here about 3 years ago, they are all back in South Africa, or they are living in another state or in another country. And some people might say that, oh, well, a year is a long time. You should have made friends, but it's not that easy. It's not easy to make friends with different culture groups, with just different people that know nothing about your culture, that you know nothing about them. I also haven't been in the position where I've been working, so I couldn't make friends at work. And I basically have no family and nobody that I have a deep connection with here, even though it's been a year, obviously, besides my husband. And that can bring about a lot of loneliness, feelings of loneliness during the Christmas season, and missing your family, missing being able to go to your sister's house and just chill there, not even talking to your sister, just watching TV or laughing with your family, having game night, sitting and chatting with your parents, with your friends that you've known for decades or for like many years, just chatting and laughing and having a sense of familiarity and also a common sense of humor. That is so important during this time. And when you don't have that, you can feel so misplaced. And I don't want to use the word ungrateful, because even in this and feeling that way right now myself, I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity to be in the United States, to be here with my husband after not seeing him for a year and a half, and being in that long distance relationship and finally being together. and living this beautiful married life that we have is definitely not a sense of ungratefulness. And I think that you feeling grateful for where you are, what you've accomplished, um, and feeling lonely, feeling that you're missing out on things, those are two mutually exclusive things so that you can feel them at the same time. So if that is you, please don't feel like you're ungrateful, feel like your feelings aren't validated just because you've been traveling the world, you've been seeing new things, you missing your family, you wanting to be a part of something big such as the holiday time, festive season, Christmas, Easter, any other big family traditions that you might have. That is completely valid and you're allowed to feel that way. And I just want you to know that you're not alone. I feel that way. There are many other people that feel that way too. After my little story, you can clearly see that it is not all sunshine and roses. Being away from your family, living abroad, it's, yes, it could be the best thing that has happened to you, but you can still feel a longing, familiarity. I can't even count the many times I read posts on Facebook from women and men that are just so lonely that they've moved abroad, they're living with their spouses, or they've moved because of a job, but they can't seem to make these connections with the local people in their area the way that they did when they were back home. They don't have that sense of familiarity. They don't have that sense of belonging because they can't create these relationships. And I think as we get older, I think past 25 or even before that, it becomes more difficult to make friends. You're kind of set in your ways. You want people that have the same sense of humor like you in your life. You want people around you that are positive, that aren't negative, that aren't complaining the whole time. And in the world that we're living in, that can sometimes be very difficult. You want people that you can trust, but you also know at the same time you're not going to be able to trust them the same way you're going to trust your friends from back home who you've known for almost a decade or for longer than a decade. There's just certain relationships in your life that are irreplaceable. And I think that's something that you need to come to terms with. Like, I know I'm not going to get another best friend like the one that I have back home. Oh my word, I'm going to start crying. But let me not go there. I know that I'm not going to find another Kaylin over here. I'm not going to find another Tasna over here. I'm not going to find relationships like I have with my sisters and my brothers over here, living here. And I'm sure you can hear my voice is breaking, but that's the realness of it. And I don't want everything on this channel just to be sunshine and roses, and for everyone to think that this is something so amazing. You're never going to feel sad. You're never going to feel lonely. You're never going to feel out of place. You're never going to feel like you don't belong. Those feelings do exist and they are valid. And it's very important that you communicate your feelings to your loved ones who are back home, who are even living in other countries to what you are and maybe aren't from your local country. I have friends that live in Amsterdam. I think I speak to my friend like once or twice a week via phone call every week, and then we still chat almost every single day. And those type of relationships are so important, and it's important for us to communicate our feelings, to say that, hey, I'm feeling lonely, or hey, I really miss you. Can we have a video call? Can we have a WhatsApp call? Can we spend more time together? Or can you check up on me a little bit more? This, it is festive season time, so I might withdraw a bit, but I do need you to reach out to me. It's very difficult, I think, for people who are in the position where they live abroad. They don't want to empty their sadness or their feelings of loneliness onto their family members because they don't want their family members to worry. They don't want them to be concerned. They don't want them to be sitting 7,000 miles away, 10,000 miles away, knowing that their loved one is all alone and is feeling a bit miserable where they are. You kind of want to put up this false pretense that, everything is fine, everything is doing great, I'm great. But I think that also causes even more hurt and pain for you. So it's important to communicate that. And then for everyone who's at home or has family members living abroad, pick up the phone. Like, text them, message them. Hey, how are you? I've been thinking about you. Is anything new going on? What are you doing for Christmas? Really encourage them and motivate them to do something for Christmas. Even if it's planning a trip somewhere, if it's meeting up with friends, um, something, make sure that you encourage them not to be alone on Christmas Day. I recall the times that I was not with my family on Christmas Day was the story that I just told you. One Christmas I went to France to visit another friend over there over the Christmas time because I couldn't go home. And then this year, I told my husband, I don't care if it's only the two of us this year. I am making Christmas lunch, Christmas dinner. I am doing something because if I don't do something, I am going to cry. I am going to feel lonely and miserable. And I just need some sense of normalcy because when you're back home and it's Christmas time, you're with your family sitting around the table, your mother's made gammon, there's tongue, there's trifle, there's all these foods that you associate with Christmas time. And when you don't have that, there's this feeling of, I'm missing out big time. I don't have that. I feel sad. I feel lonely. I feel like a little bit depressed. And it's very easy to get that way over the Christmas time. So I encourage you, reach out to your family members, reach out to your friends, show them love, shower them with love. If you can afford to, maybe send them something um, through Amazon or through whatever they have over there, if you are able to create an account, of course, or if you are able to send them something from your hometown to their foreign address so that they just can feel a little bit of like, wow, my family's thinking of me, my family loves me, you know, even though I'm physically alone, like I'm not actually alone. And make sure you call them up on those days, wish them Merry Christmas, wish them a Happy New Year, phone them throughout the day, make sure they are not alone or that they don't feel lonely. And even if they think that you are being overbearing, like I'm telling you, they're going to appreciate it. Those phone calls mean so much. So that's been my 2 cents for this week, just to encourage you to love on your family members that are living abroad, comfort them during this time. Make sure that you're sending them messages, make sure that you're phoning them, and make sure that if you are living abroad, that you communicate your feelings to those closest to you and that you plan something. Don't sit at home. Do not sit at home and try and watch Christmas movies all day with popcorn or a cake or whatever. Do not do that because you will feel miserable. Try to link up with some friend. See if there's maybe something going on, if there's like a Christmas market or if there's even a restaurant that you can go to or something. But please make sure that you're not alone this Christmas season. Know that you are deeply loved by those closest to you, and of course you are deeply loved by God, who has placed you on this earth for a purpose and for a reason. So do not ever feel like you don't have purpose or that you're lonely or that nobody cares about you. You are deeply loved. So everyone, a Merry Christmas from Chats with Charnie, and I hope you all have an amazing lead up to 2023. Bye.